Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Good Friday to you all, and welcome to the Wrestling Connection. My name is Ken Hill, as always. Alongside me, the madman himself, Mr. Zach Martinkus.
What up, everybody? The champ is here.
Yeah, yes, indeed. And it's a very good Friday because we are only a mere 2 days away from the biggest event of them all,
WrestleMania.
Indeed. And this past Monday, we saw just an example of the kind of excitement you can expect at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's so much to go through for this week in review.
Yep.
I mean, we start this Monday night on Raw. I mean, we'll start at the end of the show with the no disqualification match between Randy Orton and Batista. Vicious. Stephanie and Triple H certainly seem to be getting into it, and why not? Because I mean, Triple H organized the match. Mm-hmm. You have he just assumed that once he goes through Bryan, he has his two opponents softened up before WrestleMania.
Yeah.
He walks in and walks out with the championship. Now, of course, everything seemed to be going as planned.
But
then the crowd starts going nuts. We pan over to the announce table, and who do we see but Daniel Bryan beating the bejesus out of Triple H.
Oh.
Essentially beating. Just going hog wild on Triple H, throwing him into the barricade. I mean, even taking out Orton at one point, just bowling him over the stairs, going to town on Triple H with a kendo stick.
Oh man, that was so funny.
He was essentially just wailing away on him, just going absolutely crazy, and I mean, wiping out Batista with the knee plus, drop kicking Orton into the barricade. Bryan stood tall, and for any doubters about the Yes movement, the Yes movement is not dead. It is alive. It's alive, and it is kicking the authorities' butts.
Yeah, and especially in, like you said, man, like after, I mean, the beatdown that Daniel Bryan did, which I swear I watched that nonstop this whole week, and I still think it was funny as heck. And Triple H, dude, you're not gonna kill the Yes movement. There's no way. He's gonna like it, and I'm sorry to make an early prediction, sorry, but he's gonna kick your butt. He's gonna kick your butt. He's gonna move on to the triple threat, and we are all gonna be chanting yes, yes, yes. We have a new WWE World Heavyweight Champion, Daniel Bryan. So you can bet your ear in that will happen. Don't care what people are doubting about that. It will happen. The title will be the crown for Daniel Bryan.
I mean, Bryan left a little to the imagination that he wouldn't be coming away with the WWE World Heavyweight Championship.
Yep.
Someone else who got a measure of revenge this Monday, one John Cena, who did the seemingly impossible. He surprised Bray Wyatt. He actually took the master of the Wyatt family by complete surprise, showing up in a Wyatt jumpsuit with a sheet mask after Wyatt disposed of R-Truth. And you get to see the look on Wyatt's face. He was stunned. He could not believe someone pulled this off. I mean, Cena disposes of Ronan Harper just like that, almost gets his hands on Bray, who slips out at the last second. But this is what I wanted from John Cena. This is when I called him out last week. This is what I wanted. I wanted him to take the fight to Bray. I wanted him to do something unexpected. Don't come with your usual fanfare, your usual PG banter. Do something that will not only shock us, but shock Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family, and he did that.
Yeah, not to mention, he brought back ruthless aggression to its meaning, and like you said, man, he did exactly what you did, and John Cena, I give you props, man. You did phenomenal. Thank you, and I really do hope you do kick the ever-living crud out of Wyatt. Seriously, this guy creeps the crud out of me. Please just kick the crud out of him, please. I'm begging ya. Shut him up for once and for all. Basically, like I've always said, put up or shut up. In which case, man, you put up and you kick the crap out of them. You got my vote, dude. You got my vote.
So we
can't see me.
So we had a preview for WrestleMania of sorts for everyone involved.
Mm-hmm.
We had a very fun 8-man tag team match with Los Matadors and the Usos taking on Real Americans and Ryback.
Yep.
Usos and Los Matadors picking up the victory there in a very entertaining match.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had a very unique Divas match. The Divas champion AJ Lee.
Yep, in the Lumberjill match.
In the Lumberjill match, going up against Cameron. All the Divas in the Vicky Guerrero Divas Championship Invitational surrounding the ring.
Yep.
And interesting that they always threw AJ back into the ring, but when Cameron fell out there, no one laid a hand on her. So you gotta imagine it's pretty much going to be, you're looking at 10, 11 Divas, including Tamina.
Yeah.
Going up against AJ. The odds of her retaining that title, minuscule.
Oh yeah.
At best.
Oh yeah, and it's not a surprise though too. I mean, it's basic for AJ. It's a guarantee. She's gonna lose the title at WrestleMania. You know, yes, she broke Maurice's record for being the longest reigning Divas champion, but now that she has pretty much every single Diva going after her for the Divas title, and not to mention Tamina, who hasn't even had a shot at the Divas. I mean,
at her best friend's championship.
Right. So
So you have to wonder with Tamina what's going to come first: her loyalty to AJ, or winning the gold for the first time in her career, because she's been with WWE for a while. So you have to wonder is this Tamina's chance, to grab the brass ring.
Yeah,
and that's something we're going to be discussing more in the upcoming roundtable.
Right. I'm actually kind of surprised though, I thought this match would be, a battle royal. Like I would have figured, it made a lot of sense. I mean, it's a guarantee either way.
Nope, it's one fall to a finish, making AJ's odds of retaining that much harder.
Oh yeah, I mean, but I think if anything though, maybe not do a battle royal, at least do like an elimination match. I mean, if you think about it, once, or maybe do something like Scramble, just win the elimination process. That way, basically everybody's gunning for AJ. Knock her out, and she's done. So,
and we also had an interesting confrontation between the Undertaker and Brock Lesnar.
Yep.
Lesnar getting the best of Taker this time around, laying him out with the F5, proving that if he can take the Undertaker off his feet at WrestleMania, Lesnar's pretty much going to control this match. He's going to dominate this match, and for the first time in a while, there may be actual doubt as to Taker keeping his streak alive.
Yeah, and I do remember seeing that, and it's just my eyes were just, I couldn't believe it, and actually, in a little bit of a spoiler, I know you had your conversation, about John Cena. My thing of, Zack Attack is going to be a little different, because I'm basically doing a major heart-to-heart. We want this boy. It still gets funny every time I say that. But, we want this boy. Usually I'm a man of words, though. That right there, I got nothing. All right, but on a serious note, Taker, I have followed your career ever since the Attitude Era. You have been one of my inspirations of wanting to become a wrestler. I mean, with you having the undefeated streak, which is phenomenal, and I cherish that with everything. And I know you're issues, you know, with Lesnar. Yeah, you're 0-2 when it comes to this guy, but, and I'm gonna give you a little bit of a brief history with me. Where I grew up a town right next door to Death Valley. So basically, in a sense, Undertaker and I were like this. But Taker, the streak is your life. The streak is everything that every fan, including myself, cherishes. And for someone like Brock Lesnar to come in here thinking that he could break the streak is not going to happen. So I want the old Undertaker back. The guy that has won this numerous times. The guy that brought, pardon my French for saying this, I hope I don't get busted for this, that brought literal hell to the WWE. A guy who is the demon of Death Valley. He the phenom. The guy who, no matter what obstacle came in your way, man, you overcame it. You have conquered 21 victims in your entire life at WrestleMania. Brock Lesnar will be number 22. And I guarantee you, Lesnar, no matter how much you think you got the ball, you may have the ball in this court, you are messing with Taker. Taker will break you. Taker will absolutely destroy Lesnar. Recognize. Because Lesnar, as I've always said on Facebook, if you didn't follow, your fear, this time, I'm going to say this, your fear is in Taker's domain. Believe the hype.
Intense words from my good friend.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also
every word of it.
A fan of Undertaker. I've been a fan of his as well since the Attitude Era. In fact, I've been a fan of professional wrestling for 13 years, and that's a part of what I'm about to do for Ken's Den. Now, this is sort of a unique Ken's Den because I'm not calling out a superstar. I'm not calling out a WWE personality. I'm not even calling out anyone in the professional wrestling industry. I'm calling myself out. Because I've been a professional wrestling fan for 13 years. As long as I've been living in Bedford. 13 years. Fads have come and gone. Fashions have come and gone. As an autistic, fads for me are supposed to come and go like that. I never really develop any serious attachments. Wrestling is the one thing I've been attached to for the longest time. It is my passion. It is my livelihood. I would even go so far as to say it is my mistress. It has been a part of my life for half my life. I'm turning 26 this month. It has been part of my life for half my life now. And for the longest time, I've been telling people that I just want to be, for my career, I want to go into sports broadcasting, that I want to be an announcer, that I want to be a sports journalist. And while on the inside, my dream career is to announce for the WWE. And I've been ever since I graduated in 2012 from St. Louis State, I've been waffling between what I want to do. Do I want to be in the sports broadcasting? Do I want to announce for wrestling? Back and forth. And since I started this show, a couple months back, I have gotten more attention for this show than I ever did writing articles or doing announcing over in Arlington, doing film work over here in Bedford. I've gotten more attention for this than anything else. and it only cements what I'm about to say right now. My career goal is going to be to announce for the WWE. Not just to be a announcer. I am going not to be a voice for WWE. I'm going to be the voice for professional wrestling. I mean, you remember all these matches. You remember Hell in a Cell, Undertaker, Mick Foley. You remember the voice of Jim Ross. As God is my witness, he has been broken in half. And when they remember that match, they remember that quote. They remember that moment in time. And you have the Jim Rosses. You have the Gordon Solis. You have the Mike Tenays. You even have the Michael Coles. You have the John Bradshaw Layfields. I'm not going to try to follow in their footsteps. I'm not going to try to be the next Jim Ross. I'm not going to try and be the next Michael Cole. I'm not going to try to be the next Bobby the Brain Heenan. I'm going to be the first Kenneth Robert Hill. I'm not going to be a voice. I'm going to be the voice of professional wrestling. I don't care, and I know it's a long road. I don't care if it takes me 10 years. I don't care if it takes me 20 years. I don't care if it takes me until I am 70 years old, wrinkled and blue in the face. I am going to announce for the WWE. My voice can be heard. It will be heard. I said it. I've lived it. I will be it.
And dude, I know you say you want to be the next Jim Ross, man, but you know what, man? You be my Jim Ross, and I be your Austin, dude.
And I'll call you every step of the way.
Amen to that, man.
All right, now, ladies and gentlemen, so as a longtime wrestling fan, I was actually delighted to hear from an uncle of mine, John Caven, who also lives here in Bedford. Hi, Uncle John, if you're watching. That a distant ancestor of mine, my great uncle's cousin, was a popular wrestler during the Great Depression, and he is actually who we're going to be covering for this week's Superstar. Yes, the Golden Greek Jim Londos, as you could see, quite the physical specimen. One of the most popular wrestlers during the era of the Great Depression. Multiple time world champion, wrestled all over the world. Wrestled over in Greece, in the States. I mean, just a very popular wrestler.
Yeah, you know, it's actually kind of since he's. I forgot, like, when exactly did he start, like, wrestling around though? Because, like,
he was born near the start of the 20th century. He started wrestling around the age of 20. He started over in Europe, where he was known as he had more of a bricklayer gimmick. But then once he moved over to the States, he developed a new gimmick where he capitalized on his chiseled good looks, his handsome features, his physique, and became known as the Golden Greek.
Wow.
He essentially would wrestle guys. He would pick out like the ugliest opponents for him to wrestle. So he would stand out that much more. But the irony of it is, behind the scenes, from what my great uncle John Caven Sr. told me, he was about the sweetest man you would ever meet.
Wow.
Very very personable, very very friendly, but again one of the greatest of his generation. I mean, during a time when people were struggling, he made the most of it. He made the most of his career. His standout. He's an influence to me. He's a great inspiration to me, and I certainly hope that I can accomplish as much when I make it to WWE as he did in the world of professional wrestling.
I'm sure he will, man. And actually, just one other question. Like, did he ever get a chance to wrestle Gorgeous George? Please tell me he did. I gave him.
I believe he actually did compete against Gorgeous George a couple times in his career. He competed against many greats. But I mean, kind of moving on to that, he actually innovated two maneuvers here. He was actually responsible for introducing two maneuvers stateside to American professional wrestling, which we are going to be covering in the upcoming What a Maneuver. Now, once we come back from What a Maneuver, we are going to go straight into our WrestleMania Roundtable. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We got an extra half hour today, so we can cover everything that WrestleMania 30 has to offer, and we will come to that right after What a Maneuver.
Time for Zack and Ken's A Maneuver. Let's go.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the latest segment of What a Maneuver. In honor of my ancestor, Jim Londos, we are going to be performing two of his vaunted finishing moves. Yep. The first being a oldie but goodie, one that you don't see as much anymore, the airplane spin.
Yep.
It's a very simple. It's a time-tested maneuver.
Yep.
You simply take your opponent.
Yep.
To the fireman carry position.
Yep.
Make sure you have him firmly on your shoulders.
Yeah, because if you screw this up, man, it's gonna like really be messed up, not pretty.
Right.
Just here, go.
Simply.
Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
Then
and I'm good.
essentially you spin them around enough that they're completely disoriented. Also making sure that you don't disorient yourself so much that you can't take advantage.
Pretty much, yeah, just like how I just did, for example. Yeah.
The airplane spin can be turned into several maneuvers. You can segue into a neck breaker.
Yep.
A slam, or simply just drop your opponent right off your shoulders.
Pretty much.
Now the second one, which less commonly known for associated with Jim Londos,
You get this one.
was a variation of the sleeper known as the straight jacket sleeper. It's not so much a sleeper as it is a modified form of the camel clutch. Now you see, your opponent is face down on the ground.
I would grab the guy that's one arm like this, and then grab the other arm around like this in the formation of a stretcher. Lift them up.
Yep. Pull your knee back.
And there you go. There's a straight jacket hold. Alright. And like I said, kids, do not try this at home. This move in particular, yeah, do not try it at home. Stay safe, kids. Oh my god.
Love the little sound effect at the end right there.
Oh jeez.
That's our producers at work.
Yep.
All right, now, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to welcome back Mr. Ori. And would you like that? and Mr. Colby.
Tommy.
And
Tommy. Yep.
And this is the WrestleMania
Roundtable. Oh, is it? Oh, nothing. What?
What?
Your head's exploding.
I got that. Just. Okay.
Moving on. It is now time for our WrestleMania Roundtable. WrestleMania 30, emanating from New Orleans New Orleans. It's a star-studded pay-per-view down the Big Easy, and we got a lot of big matches to go through.
Oh yeah.
All right. First we kick off with the pre-show, which is highlighted by the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match. The champions, the Usos, defending their tag team titles against the Real Americans, Jack Swagger and Cesaro. Los Matadores.
Ole.
And Ryback and Curtis Axel.
God.
So a bit of an overview for this match. Essentially, the Real Americans and Ryback came into this championship match thanks to the director of operations Kane. Doing a favor for him by ambushing the Shield, just laying him out, leaving them easy pickings for the Outlaws and Kane to pick apart the Shield.
Pretty much.
So and Los Matadores just sort of thrown in here to complete the set. So now we have a fatal four-way. First fall wins the tag team titles.
Yep.
So I'll start off with Mr. Ori. Your prediction.
My prediction is that the Real Americans will come close to winning the titles. Keep in mind you have Antonio Cesaro, who has been on a roll lately, and you have Jack Swagger, a former World Heavyweight Champion and a former ECW champion. Now, with Jack Swagger, he has the Patriot Lock and the Gut Wrench Powerbomb. My prediction is that they will come close, but the Usos will retain.
All right, Mr. Tommy.
I agree with Ori that the Usos will retain because they do have the super kick, which is pretty powerful, and then they had tagged him in for the leapfrog, which
for the Superfly splash.
yes,
And plus they have the Samoan drop.
yes.
Right. Okay. Zach, your predictions.
You're gonna call it 3-0. Basically, three against this one, because just because like the hype, just how crazy these guys are. I mean, yeah, granted from what you guys said though, like if they're one guy's going for the high suicide dive though, tagging like that, going after the other guy, and there you go, show's over.
No,
So,
I mean,
3 for the Usos.
I mean, mine's a little more. My prediction's a little more complicated. I mean, Los Matadores just seemed like they were kind of thrown in there because you have one of the Matadores, Carlos Colon, Primo's father. Let's not come on. I know I'm breaking the fourth wall here, but come on. We all know Los Matadores are the Colones,
Yeah.
and Primo Colon's father, Carlos Colon, is being inducted into WWE Hall of Fame, which is why the Los Matadores is being a part of this match. But they're an outside shot at best, so they're not winning this.
Yeah.
Ryback has never been a very relevant tag team. They haven't had any sort of momentum going into this match. For them to come away with the tag titles would make no sense. Now, that pretty much boils down to between the Real Americans and the Usos.
Right.
Now, the Usos just did win the tag team titles in a very emotional match against the now corporate Outlaws.
Yeah.
And the Real Americans have seemed to have found their competitive edge again. They seem to be functioning as a cohesive unit. They seem to have put their differences aside. Swagger's put his jelly aside. Cesaro's finally being a team player with Zeb Coulter leading the charge. And that's why I believe, I'm going to go in the opposite direction. I'm saying the Real Americans come away with the tag team titles here. Because, let's face it, they've been one of the more physically dominating tag teams in the division. And I think they're overdue for a championship victory.
But also think about though, the Ryback is a powerhouse, which he can wreck through them.
But again, Ryback and Axel have not been a cohesive. They have not been a strong tag team. They don't have momentum. They
haven't been around longer than the Real Americans
or the Usos or even Los Matadores.
Yeah.
And it's even been proven that despite Ryback's physical dominance, that the Los Matadores can beat them. And they're both a couple of high flyers. So Ryback's power doesn't really mean a whole lot when you got like three other teams against them. So I'm going with the Real Americans right here, and I expect Cesaro to go a swinging to pick up the tag team title victory.
All right. Well, the next match we have up is Triple H versus Daniel Bryan. Winner is the third member to be part of the triple threat, or supposedly, as long as there isn't no other stipulation involved in that. So,
Essentially Triple H versus Daniel Bryan. Stipulation being the winner of that
Win the
match
match.
gets inserted into the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match
Right.
alongside Orton and Batista. And I'll start the predictions right here. Here's the thing: Bryan goaded Triple H into this match.
Right.
He did everything he could to antagonize him. Did everything he could to pretty much unseat Triple H. Just get inside his head, break him down, break down the walls, the authority, and he got his match. He got what he wanted. He not only got a match with the head of the authority, with the head of the WWE, he got what he wanted. An opportunity for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship on the biggest stage. And I gotta tell you about this. Bryan's been at this since SummerSlam. He's been on the cusp of that World Heavyweight Championship since last August, and this has got to be where he picks up. And I say it's going to be a close match. Obviously,
Right.
Triple H may seem like he's past his prime, but he can still put on a darn good match when he wants to. Pardon my French. He can put on a darn good match when he wants to. So I'd say this is going to be a close call, but I say Bryan takes away the match here.
Right. Well, of course everybody knows my vote, of course. I mean, I've said this like the last few weeks. I'm part of the yes movement, and it's not gonna go away. And as I said, Daniel Bryan is going on to the triple threat, and he will win the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Yes.
Now, Tommy?
I agree with Zach. I am part of the yes movement, but if you think about though, Triple H is pretty powerful because he did go up against the Dead Man and almost defeat the Streak. However,
Right.
and Daniel Bryan doesn't give up because of the yes movement, so it'll be, I think, a pretty good match where Daniel Bryan won't give up with it.
So you're going with Daniel Bryan.
I don't know who I'm going with. I'm mixed between both of them right now.
All right. So we kind of have a undecided.
My opinion is Triple H. Triple H is the King of Kings. Has one of the closest title reigns in history, and
You mean closest title reigns to Ric Flair?
yes,
Yeah.
and the reason why most people know him is because he married into the McMahon family. Now, he's been a wrestler most of his life.
career.
All his career.
So, with that being said, my prediction is Triple H is going to go for the win.
Wow.
Oh boy, this is gonna be really.
Because if you think about it, one of the last times he faced Bryan was the chair shot. So
It was when he laid him out with the
with
chair
the
shot.
chair shot.
Yes.
But that was an actual match.
But
He-
yeah,
No,
that was
no,
a
he
match.
assaulted
That
him.
was
He assaulted
he
him.
assaulted
Like-
because he handcuffed
No,
him.
what I'm saying is, yes, he assaulted him, but he laid Bryan out, and
But
for
also
the
Bryan
longest
was- he
time
was
you
handcuffed.
had-
Bryan did the same exact thing earlier this week. So I mean,
But
Yeah.
also Bryan was handcuffed though, so Bryan really couldn't fight back on that much because of that.
Yeah.
and when Bryan got his revenge on Triple H, he essentially he went to town on him. He
Basically beat the crap out of him like a freaking piranha.
He had no response. Triple H had no response to it. All he could do
Because
was
Triple
all he
didn't
could
know
do
where he
just
was
scurry
coming
up the
from.
ramp right back to Stephanie. So whether or not that's Triple H,
But
playing
to be
mind games,
fair, Bryan also laid out two of the people who are
in
facing
the
off.
WWE World Heavyweight Championship match, Batista and
Randy Orton.
Right.
All right. So going on towards Cena's his takes. The next match is the Wyatt versus Cena.
Bray Wyatt versus John Cena. Now, this match is what I think many consider the sleeper match of WrestleMania. Not a lot of people aren't paying attention to, but could have the potential to steal the show. We saw how well Bray Wyatt performed with Daniel Bryan at the Royal Rumble.
Right.
With the right opponent, Bray Wyatt can put on a great match. He can excel. Bryan proved that. Now with Cena, we're not so sure. It's been, as far as storyline goes, it has been a great build-up. It's been a fantastic build-up. We've had Cena underestimating Bray Wyatt, making his usual jokes. Bray comes right out and completely undermines Cena. Undermines everything Cena's character is about. His comparisons to Hulk, how Cena's making comparisons between Cena and Hulk Hogan. I mean, he is, and essentially stating, what is Cena without his fanfare? What is Cena without his kingdom of WWE fans, of the children, of all the people who come to cheer him, who give him adulation? What happens when all of that is taken away? And Bray calls Cena, with all that, he calls Cena that proverbial old man, that sad old man in the rocking chair. That's what he thinks Cena will be if he takes everything away from him.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying. I mean, and Cena stated that the future of the WWE goes through him.
Right.
Yep.
Now, I mean, let's face it, this is WrestleMania. This is the biggest stage, and the Wyatt family has proven that they will be an essential part of WWE for many months to come, or even maybe many years to come. So it begs the question: if not here, when?
Right.
So I'm saying right now, Wyatt goes over John Cena.
All right. Well, for me, I mean, I've been pretty much a diehard John Cena fan. I mean, I wouldn't exactly catch on like when he first came into the business, but I did follow him towards 2005, and I'm sorry, I'm pretty sure y'all are gonna disagree with me on this though, but I'm with John Cena. Wyatt, you can't see me. I'm with the Cena Nation. So, Cena is going to go rising above, and he will kick the crap out of Wyatt.
All right.
I agree with Zach. I think Cena's going to win, but also with Bryant, though, he had taken out Kane and made him come back, I think, like 11 months afterwards or a year afterwards. And the Wyatts also defeated the Shield, and he'll put up a pretty good fight because he is crazy, and he also follows the buzzers.
But
Okay. I agree with Kenny that
oh boy.
Bray Wyatt has single-handedly got into the head of Cena until this past Monday when Cena surprised Bray Wyatt wearing Eric Rowan's sheep mask, or a sheep mask. The point of the match is that what Kenny said is true, that with a certain opponent, Bray Wyatt can pull off a good match. Now, if you watch SmackDown last week, he basically single-handedly
went through
Big Show,
went through Big
no
Show.
problem.
No effort whatsoever.
Yeah, in like less than 5 minutes, actually.
Right.
Which the only person to beat Big Show,
but like that was Lesnar. And yeah, Wyatt does not have the physique that Lesnar has, and he had minimal involvement from the Wyatt family. So, I mean, like I said, I agree with you. I think this is Wyatt's time to shine.
And lastly,
yeah, for sure.
follow the buzzards.
Follow the buzzards.
Yeah, not gonna happen.
Now we come to the next match, a 6-man tag team match where we have Corporate Kane, Director of Operations, and the newly minted Corporate Outlaws, Billy Gunn and Road Dogg, going up against the Shield, who had a change of heart, rebelling against Corporate Kane when he tried to sick them on Jerry Lawler in retaliation for the Yes Movement. The Shield did not consider that an injustice. They considered Corporate Kane an injustice in himself.
Right.
Turned on Kane, laid him out, and thus you have your build up. You have Kane getting revenge on him, bringing out all those different tag teams to lay out the Shield, and enlisting the help of the Corporate Outlaws as his teammates at WrestleMania.
Right.
Now, that being said, don't get me wrong, Kane can still put on a good match. He can still be a big strong man when it comes right down. He can be the monster. However, if I were Kane, I would have chosen my teammates a little more wisely because, I mean, let's face facts. I mean, you want to go with the Outlaws, who pretty much were outgunned and pretty much outdone by the Usos in every way.
But also, though, the thing about the Outlaws also have a tag team match against them, though, because they haven't taken that up yet.
Yeah, but they have one match of experience against the Shield. All right, and here's the other thing. Yeah, age and wisdom doesn't mean a whole lot when you can't move so well around the ring. I mean, they're good for a nostalgia act, but I mean, using them as enforcers. Trust me, you would have been. This would have been a better role for, say, Ryback or maybe one of those new NXT tag teams,
the Ascension.
like the tag team champions, the Ascension. I mean, bring up some young blood for WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Not some more of the old stuff.
Or bury at the old fossils, as I call them.
The old fossil. Yeah, the old fossils. So I mean, like I said, the Shield have been a cohesive unit for better part for nearly 2 years.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I mean, bottom line, I think the Shield roll through Kane and the Outlaws. I really don't think this is going to be much of a contest.
Oh, hey. I mean, everybody knows my vote. As I said last week, we believe. So you can bet your rear end. This is right here, the Shield.
This is a unanimous vote right here.
Yep.
Four for the Shield.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and just a little message for Kane and the. Actually, I'm gonna call this the corporates, as I'm gonna call it the corporate sellouts. Believe in the Shield. Believe the hype, because you guys are going to get broken.
So true.
Mm-hmm. So now moving on to the Vicky Guerrero Divas title intervention, which invitation. I'm sorry, which we all know. AJ, I'm sorry to say this, honey.
Well, I mean, it needs a little bit of context. Vicky Guerrero and AJ Lee have never gotten along.
No, never.
Vicky Guerrero ousting AJ Lee from her position as Raw General Manager last 2012.
Yeah.
AJ.
Actually, I think it was 2011. Actually.
No, it was 2012. AJ Lee winning the Divas Championship, holding it for the longest reign of 280 plus days, surpassing Maurice's record. Maurice, the new bride of Mike the Miz Mizanin.
Yeah.
Yeah. And anyway, surpassing that reign, and now Vicky knows how to hold a grudge, because instead of AJ Lee facing one diva, she's not facing two divas. She is facing every single diva in the WWE. You're talking about the Bella Twins. You're talking about Summer Rae. You're talking about Natalya.
The Funkadactyls.
But also Natalya is also granddaughter of Bret the Hitman Hart.
Right.
Yeah. And then also, not to
also
let's see,
Tamina Snuka.
Which I feel Tamina's probably going to try and stop all of them and try and help out AJ. But then again, though, she might also betray AJ.
Oh no! Trust me. Here's the thing: Tamina has had few championship opportunities, few and far between.
Yeah.
And this, I mean, she has never held the Divas Championship.
Nope.
Someone as dominant as her, the fact that she's been in WWE for a couple of years now, the fact that she hasn't held the Divas Championship or a Women's Championship is a little confusing, a little daunting.
Right.
So I'd say, as much as I want to see AJ retain, because she is one of the more entertaining divas. She is one of the more athletic divas. She's
like one of the crazy divas.
Hey, who doesn't love crazy chicks?
That's true.
Hey, I dig her.
Crazy chicks.
Case in point, but honestly, this is not a battle royal. This is a one fall to a finish match, much like the tag team title match. Whoever gets the pinfall out of the dozen or so divas in this match is the Divas Championship. So, I mean, a fatal four-way is bad enough, because you can lose your title without being pinned.
Right.
I mean, you literally have to be in the eye of the hurricane here. You have to remain in the center of action, because all it takes is one pinfall. AJ is out of a championship.
Pretty much. She's like I've said, she's gonna lose the title no matter what.
That being said, my pick, and I'm going with Tamina Snuka as the new Divas champion.
All right, man. Well, you're gonna have two votes on that, because honestly, I mean, if you want when you heard, for those who watch Raw, you could see the expression from Tamina's face when she heard about this. That basically every diva in this entire, basically every diva is going to be involved in this match. So basically, even Tamina as well, and you could just tell this could be my golden opportunity. Now, and I'm sure people also follow it too. When you're in the WWE, you can either make friends or you can make money. And honestly,
quote unquote Triple H.
Yeah. So basically, I honestly do believe Tamina will become the next Divas champion. I'm sorry, AJ. As much as I got a little bit of a crush on you, I can't help it. I did Crazy Chicks. What can I say? But your title reign is over. Your bodyguard, aka your BFF or whatever you want to call her, she's gonna win the title. That's my vote.
All right.
I agree with Tamina, but however, with Natalia, she also is part of a legacy from a legend, so she could also put up a good fight, and she could also get that. So I'm kind of in between the two of them.
So you're going? Are you going with Natalia or?
I'm like between the two of them. I gotta say, because they are both from legends and they are both.
But I mean, you can only go with one here. I mean,
Yeah.
you got like 12 divas to choose from.
Yeah, pretty much.
Then I'm gonna say Natalia because she
Natalia? All right.
is because she does know a little more about wrestling than.
Well,
Yeah, plus she can get
to me, Tamina's no slouch in the legacy department either. I mean, come on.
Yeah, Jimmy Superfly Snuka.
Super fly. So I mean, so it should be interesting to see which legacy comes out top, the Snuka legacy or the Hart legacy.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, we'll see right there. Ori,
I will have to agree with Ken and Zach on this. I think Tamina will dominate almost every diva in the match, including AJ. And like Zach, I also dig Crazy Chicks, I'm not going to lie. But the Tamina is going to go away with the victory.
All right. And then we have for the first time ever, the Andre the Giant 30-man Battle Royal, which in this match, everyone is trying to seize that WrestleMania opportunity that they never had.
That WrestleMania moment.
Yep.
I mean, you have guys like Big Show. You have Dolph Ziggler, Sheamus, The Miz, Titus O'Neil, Darren Young,
Big E,
Big E,
Mark
Langston,
Henry,
Mark Henry, Zack Ryder. You have so many different personalities vying for an opportunity, not for a championship, not for a number one contender spot, but for something that's just as good.
Mm-hmm.
That WrestleMania moment, their time in the sun, and now
they also get the Andre the Giant Battle Royal trophy, which is legit a statue form of the late great Andre the Giant. Rest in peace, dude.
Right. So, I mean, now the obvious favorites here are the Big Show and Mark Henry, because of course,
and also Big E though too, because
and Sheamus, all the big men,
and Big E because he is pretty.
Big E, Sheamus, Big Show, Mark Henry, obviously because the big men are obviously favorites in the Battle Royal, which, as you may or may not know, goes like this: Battle Royal essentially works like the Royal Rumble. You're thrown over the top rope. The only way you're eliminated, you're thrown over the top rope. Both feet hit the floor.
You're out.
You're done. You're out. Now that being said, there's someone who has stood out during this road to the Battle Royal, and he has been very impassioned. He's made a couple of very strong promos, very strong claims that he's going to have his WrestleMania moment, much like he did the day after last year's WrestleMania. I'm going with Dolph Ziggler for the winner of the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. He's going to get his true WrestleMania moment, and I think this is the road to redemption for Ziggler towards getting back into the world title picture.
Oh man, see, that's where we're gonna have you beat. I'm sorry, but if there's anybody that, well, I'm pretty sure mine is actually kind of caught between two people, and that is one of them, the world's strongest athlete,
The world's largest
athlete, my bad, the Big Show, and the Celtic Warrior himself, Sheamus. Because those two have had one of the biggest momentums. Not to mention the Big Show. This Battle Royal fits him to the very core.
Well, yeah, it's
Andre the Giant. I mean,
it's custom made for the Big Show, but I mean, it's just that. I mean, it's an obvious. I mean, it's a good choice. It's just I think it's kind of one of the more obvious ones because I mean, you would want to go with the Big Show. He's like what 470, 480 pounds, 7 feet tall. I mean, he's going to be the hardest to eliminate. That being said, I mean. That's the main reason everyone's going to be ganging up on him from the get-go. For all we know, we could have all of the 29 participants just pretty much just gang up on Big Show and then toss him over. So we'll see what happens.
Yep.
Tommy?
I agree with Zach. Sheamus and Big Show. They're one of the toughest.
You guys got to go with one guy. I mean,
well,
I'm sorry. Can't be waffling here.
Well, that's
just my. I'm sorry. That's just my struggle. I can't decide which one. You know, I want more. Sheamus, Big Show. Sheamus, Big Show. It's going at it like crazy.
So we got a Jerry Lawler pick right here. You got either Big Show or Sheamus.
Don't forget though too. You're talking to a guy that shook hands with Jerry the King Lawler. Dang it. Yes, I did. Just for the record, a few years ago, I went with this guy the day after one of the biggest Royal Rumbles in 2011, and right after the end of the show, this hand right here, yes. This guy right here, eyewitness, got a chance to shake hands with Jerry the King Lawler. That is the greatest accomplishment ever. No matter how much what people say, though, yeah. Right. So, you know what, though? If you're going to call me Jerry the King Lawler, you know what? Bow down to the king of hardcore enigma, baby.
All right, so, I mean, you go with Big Show and Sheamus. You go with Big Show?
I go with Big Show and Sheamus, but however, if you think about it, though, Big Show does have upper hand because he is bigger and a little stronger, in my opinion. Right. And also, though, if you think about it, if on Raw last week, or this week, when...
He cleared the ring.
Yeah, when they all of them tried to attack him, he pushed all of them off.
The Piper's Pit.
Yeah, Big Show pushed all of them off and then literally throw all of them out the ring. And
all right.
I will have to go with Dolph Ziggler again. Because he is nicknamed the show off. So that's what he does, and I cold-heartedly believe that that's what he's going to do, and he's going to win the Rumble.
He's going to win. He's going to win the Battle Royal.
The Battle Royal.
All right.
I swear, that's right, though. You guys are going to make me do the impersonation of that. I swear to God, I will do that. I'm sorry, at the end of the show, I will do that, all right?
Oh, God, no.
I'm just saying that for everybody. Okay.
All right,
ladies, I feel bad for you.
Oh, shut up!
All right. Moving on now, we come to one of the biggest matches of the night. I think it's going to be a show stealer of the night. We have Brock Lesnar versus The Undertaker. Undertaker's streak on the line, and I don't think it's ever been in greater danger than it has been with Brock Lesnar because you have one of the more physically dominating opponents that Taker's ever faced in any of his incarnations. This is the one man in Undertaker's career that he has never, ever beaten. Never. He has two times he has faced Lesnar in pay-per-view matches. He has never, in the 3 times, he has never beaten him. 0-3 against Lesnar.
One of them being SummerSlam.
And also one of them being Hell in a Cell.
Right. Two victories in 2002, one in 2003, and now 11 years later, Lesnar's threatening the streak. But the thing is, Undertaker has found a way to come out on top every single time.
Amen.
Exactly. He found a way against CM Punk. He found a way against Triple H, against Shawn Michaels. He has overcome every obstacle put in front of him. And even at his age, I mean, how can you doubt this guy? How can you doubt Undertaker? I mean, you listened to Zach earlier. How can you doubt at any point? Even after getting laid out with the F5. I mean, again, Taker's put up with worse. I mean, you had a couple years ago where he was bathed in the ashes of Paul Bearer by CM Punk.
Yeah.
Essentially, everyone's tried to break him down mentally. They tried to break him down physically. Everyone's tried, and
it failed.
And failed. Now, again, like I said, I'm not doubting that Lesnar can pull it off, but the bottom line is, you can't go against it. I mean, and even though Lesnar's got a leg up on Taker match wise, you can't argue with history. You can't argue. I can't argue with the streak. I say Taker goes to 22-0.
Well, of course, everybody knows, my saying, but I'm gonna just shorten it up in a few short words. All right, Lesnar at WrestleMania, you will rest in peace.
Tommy?
I agree. Undertaker will come on top because of the streak alive, and there's only two men in history that have ever been able to almost take out the streak, and that's Triple H and Shawn Michaels, because the fact that they were the three of them knew each other very well, and they worked together very well, and they pretty much
in the Attitude Era.
Yes, like the 20-0 one was the end of the era between all three of them.
But,
and that was a pretty good match in my opinion.
But now you have a man in his prime in Lesnar going up against Undertaker, who's getting on.
Also, the thing about though, Lesnar doesn't know about the streak. He doesn't know what's going to happen.
He doesn't really care.
He doesn't care about the streak. He's just looking to end Taker. He's just looking to just bulldoze right through him.
Yeah, but
essentially just eat.
And plus, with Lesnar, he was
he's 1 but the thing is though, he's 1-2 at WrestleMania. The only WrestleMania he won was at WrestleMania 19. The last two was against Goldberg, which was I don't know, a little bit of an embarrassment. But and last year's WrestleMania against Triple H, which was a complete
disaster.
Oh yeah. So
honestly, I agree with all of them. I mean, you can't really argue with history. You can't really argue the streak. With Undertaker, although I will say this, you need to bring back the dark side, the, no pun intended, the Dead Man Inc., if you will.
All right, then we come to the final match, the triple threat for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, with the champion Randy Orton, which paper champion,
versus
the number one contender of the Royal Rumble,
the new Mr. Hollywood wannabe, Dave Bautista.
And then
You have Triple H or Daniel Bryan.
Whoever wins the earlier match between Daniel Bryan or Triple H.
Now we'll start with Ori. You predicted Triple H was going to come out on top here, so
I predict Triple H is going to come out on top, but in the obvious event that he doesn't, Stephanie could pull a fatal four-way match.
That is true.
She could say because he lost to Daniel Bryan, he's being put in the match. And to be fair, some wrestlers have wrestled hurt or injured. Some wrestlers have wrestled twice in one night.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do I think if that came down to it, would Triple H win? No. If it was the fatal four-way. And that's all I have to say.
Well, who's your prediction? Who do you think is going to win the
As much as I cannot stand Daniel Bryan, I would have to go with the Yes Movement.
All right. Tommy?
I agree with the whole Yes Movement that Daniel Bryan will come on top, but I feel like Randy Orton and Batista will still put up a pretty good fight against him, and will probably be very close. So
another vote for Daniel Bryan?
Yes.
I mean, a lot of these matches are going to be nail-biters. Taker versus Lesnar is going to be a nail-biter. The triple threat title match is going to be a nail-biter.
Well, of course, everybody knows my vote. I mean, for crying out loud, I am part of the Yes Movement. And yes, 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 Yes. Daniel Bryan will be the stinking champion and the face of the WWE. I don't care how many times I gotta say that. That will happen. Recognize.
Right.
There you go.
Can't forget the fists. Now,
Alright.
I mean, my prediction. I mean, here's like I said, Bryan has been working up to this moment since SummerSlam. He's had one of the longest storylines in recent memory for WWE. He's been screwed out of the championship time and time again.
Like clockwork.
By authority, but with involvement from the Shield or from the Wyatts,
From
or,
Randy Orton
or
and
because
Triple
of
H.
Shawn Michaels.
And with Triple H
And
using
because
the
of-
facade of protecting Daniel Bryan.
which is
Yeah.
just a big fat steaming pile of you know what.
Yeah. Monkey doo-doo.
The bottom line is
Hey, come
there-
on!
Why monkey
triple
do
threat match, fatal four match, or whatever the case is. They've been building Bryan up to this point since last year. If you do not have a payoff here, with Bryan winning the WWE World Heavyweight Championship,
Yeah.
it has been a complete waste. It has been a complete waste of our time. It's a complete waste of the WWE fans' time.
And of the Yes Movement.
Of the Yes Movement. It has been a complete waste of everyone's time. Bryan has to win it. He will win it. Yes. 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 So it's a clean sweep for Daniel Bryan coming away with the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. This is going to be the last match, so it has to end on a good. WrestleMania always has to end on a good note.
Right. Yeah, I mean, they can't mess it up. They mess it up. I mean,
And plus, Daniel
okay,
Bryan,
like it's just like
merchandise would go
you're
down
having
if
like
he
a big, you're having like the
loses.
greatest meal of all time, and yet you don't finish it. You just eat half of it. You don't do halfway, man. You go all out or not at all. So,
Yeah.
as I've said, Daniel Bryan is gonna win the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. This will happen, and for the love of God, Daniel Bryan, bust the living crud out of all three of them, please. We're begging you, shut the authority up, please.
Well,
Please do
Batista's
so.
not even part of the authority. Batista's
No,
being
but-
his own man.
No, but like,
Again, just he wants everyone to be shut up. He wants
No, I know.
shutting up Batista, shutting up Orton once and for all as the paper champion is, shutting up Triple H, shutting up Stephanie, shutting up pretty much every doubter who has been on Daniel Bryan's case since he entered the main event limelight,
right?
Yep.
the main event spotlight. We're gonna see if he can finally shut up all the doubters, all the naysayers, whatever. So we're gonna see at WrestleMania if the Yes Movement reaches its peak, its climax. We're gonna see if Bryan finally achieves his ultimate goal.
Right.
But you gotta know he did achieve the goal, but then got screwed.
That's
Yeah.
the point.
The
That's
thing
that's
is,
the point. That's
this
the
is
point.
his final.
This is his final
Yeah.
opportunity.
He
This is
reached
his
the
chance.
cup of
He's
reached
at
the
cup.
holy
He
grail.
is at the brink. He is at the absolute point.
Yep.
This is his ultimate opportunity. Bottom line,
Yep.
ultimate opportunity.
Yeah.
So, well, that is our show, ladies and gentlemen. It has been a fantastic episode.
Yep.
I want to thank Tommy and Ori for coming on with us. Next week we're going to be going into the aftermath, the backlash, if you will, of WrestleMania 30. Will Bryan come out the WWE champion? Who will be the new tag team champions? Will we have a new Divas champion?
Will
Who
the streak be broken?
Will the streak be broken or remain intact at 22-0? Who will have their ultimate WrestleMania moment at the Andre the Battle Royal?
Yep.
And will Wyatt cement himself as the future of the WWE, or will Cena slam the door shut on Bray Wyatt? That remains to be seen. Coming up this Sunday for WrestleMania 30, emanating right from New Orleans.
Yep.
Well, for the Wrestling Connection, I am Ken Hill.
I am the Madman Martinkus, the hardcore enigma himself. Recognize I am the real deal, and you stay connected.
Stay connected, ladies and gentlemen, and very good Friday to you all.
the Wrestling Connection.